$13.86, dipping below $40 a barrel today, but closing higher. Stephanie Shelton, CNBC.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH Plus. EH Plus combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH Plus gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE.
Today, more than ever, Americans need a means to protect their life savings. Birch Gold Group offers peace of mind for your nest egg through a rollover to an IRA backed by physical gold. Take advantage of the long-term stability that gold provides by investing in a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, the precious metal IRA specialists. Call Birch Gold Group today at 888-999-5191 and receive their free information kit on gold. Call 888-999-5191. That's 888-999-5191.
Consider this your invitation to sell. At buysellmakeoffer.com, you can sell as much as you want for the next 60 days without paying any fees whatsoever. Sound incredible? It is, and it's true. Buysellmakeoffer.com is the new exciting way to sell your stuff online. Make extra money right now. Sell your old car, furniture, video games, household items, clothes, even your home. Sell anything that's legal. Load up your stuff to sell right now at buysellmakeoffer.com. This is your official invitation to get on board to sell your stuff right now. Free for the next 60 days. And once you see how easy it is, you'll want to sign up for more because there are no item fees. That's right. Take this opportunity to move items from the other guys and sell it for free. You might even win a Samsung tablet, Amazon gift cards, and other cool prizes. BuySellMakeOffer.com is the future of online selling. You can use Skype to talk to your buyer or seller. Plus, you can use video to showcase your items. BuySellMakeOffer.com.
It's 2:03. Stay tuned for the Poorman Show. 5th live show in a row. Inland Empire weather gonna be variably cloudy all weekend long. Warming up. Tomorrow's high 92. Sunday's high 96. Overnight lows around 62. Currently, we are at 84 degrees here in San Bernardino. Looking at your drive through Yucaipa, you've got 2 lanes blocked on the eastbound 10 just before Yucaipa Boulevard, and that is due to a stalled big rig blocking the right lane. Traffic is backed up from Ford Street. And in Fontana, that off-ramp is still blocked, the eastbound 10 at Etiwanda and Valley Boulevard, so beware of that. That was a big incident with a big rig going off the side of the road there, so keep that in mind as you make your travels this afternoon. And be patient out there. Have fun. It's Friday. That is the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind. KCAA 1050 AM.
KCAA proudly presents The Poorman Show.
On the line right now, 3 of the guys. Billy Bob Thornton, who I've known since the late 80s, and I even know some deep, dark secrets about him. Right, Billy Bob?
Yes, you do, sir.
I am very happy to welcome into the studio the Cottonmouth King. You know, I've thought about it, and I think you might be single, and I was thinking you and I would probably get along pretty well if we dated, so I wouldn't mind asking.
I live in New York.
So do I. I live in New York and in L.A.
Oh, do you? Well, aren't you clever?
Was that Susan Sarandon?
He started moaning. I'm like,
and
ew,
what was
this
he?
is
And
gross.
he was this is as he massaged your feet.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my god, that's so gross. I'm like, sorry, I can't do this.
Wow.
Have you always been into guns?
Yeah, but I've been from California, so it's kind of stifled. You know, you can't own anything cool there.
This is Jesse James.
You know, the laws are pretty strict, and you can't really shoot them anywhere.
I'm telling you right now what's going to happen.
You really never know what's going to happen. Here's the Poor Man.
You know, I never cease to be amazed by Mr. Announcer Pat Matthews, who put together that intro, which is very good, by the way. And afterwards I said, you know, Susan Sarandon's on there, Jesse James is on there, like one of the 5 celebrities we've had on the show, but you don't identify them. All right, I'll go back and I'll fill it in. But the funny thing about him, actually, I'll tell you after the Beach Report, if you look at different people's personalities, there are people that have personalities I'm very jealous of, but I'll get into that. But first, ladies and gentlemen, I live at the beach. What a great day. What a great weekend it's going to be. The man, the myth, the legend, just ask him. From Huntington Beach, California, the Beach Report with Huntington Henry.
Hey, thanks, Poorman. Hey, it's hazy sun here up most of the Southern California beaches. And we do still have some thick low clouds.
It's not hazy. It's perfectly sunny in Newport.
Okay. We got rid of that hazy sun for you, Poorman. You know, I was going to say you're in one of the best areas around, actually. A lot of the beaches, mainly, North LA County, they're still overcast up that way. And
it's hazy in San Bernardino.
Yeah, that's right. It's a San Bernardino surf report, right?
All right, I'm going to shut up. Go ahead, Henry.
No, what are you talking about? I have it about mid-70s on the sand. What do you think, Poorman? What's the air temperature there in Newport Beach?
I think it's about 70. I mean, it's perfect today. It's just absolutely perfect, except it's kind of a little bit flat in Newport. Does that sound about right? The surf?
Well, it's about 2 to 3 in that 56th Street area. The water's upper 60s to 70 degrees right around your house there, Poorman. You got to get out of that room and get out in that water. Although Sharky has been hanging out 56th Street north to Brookhurst Street in the Huntington Beach area. Yesterday there was a shark encounter, and they're labeling it as an aggressive shark encounter, which actually shut the waters down, but they opened it up right now just for you, Paul, to get out the water over there.
Really? In Newport there was a shark?
Yeah, yesterday it bumped a surfer, and I don't know, from what I saw on the news, I think a lifeguard got thrown like a foot out of the water from old Sharky. And they don't know if it's the same guy that was hanging out about a month ago on the south side of the pier, but they didn't want to take any chances. And, those guys are pretty hungry out there in the water. So, but I think everything's good. They had the helicopter go over, and the water's fairly clear, and they haven't seen old Sharky cruising around today. So I think it's okay to go out there right now.
Awesome. I can think of a few people I'd like to have swimming when that shark goes by the next time.
Hey, but, old Sting and Ray, they're hanging out in the South Bay. Maybe you want to take your old friend over there and have him, walk along the bottom a little bit.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, what's the surf like up and down the coast?
Well, you're right. It's down a little bit. Basically, the North LA County, they're like 2 to 3 in that area. It gets really small in the Santa Monica South Bay. The water is really warm around Manhattan Beach and Venice, and they have a small little west wind swell coming in there 1 to 3 feet. It's up to 74 degrees in the water up there, and it is hazy sun there. Huntington Beach is a little hazy. In Newport, the sun is a little better there in that area, and it's about 2 to 3 in the 54th Street area. And as you get down to Salt Creek, it's 2 to 3. Lower Trestle still has a kind of a fair shape, 2 to 4, but a lot of guys out there. And as you go down to the Oceanside, it drops down a little bit, 2 to 3, and San Diego 1 to 3. Hey, Long Beach, we have the pro volleyball beach tournament going on, and our buddy Adam Lambert, if you remember him, he's going to be doing a free concert there Sunday in Long Beach for the pro volleyball. Now, if you remember Adam Lambert, he was the guy in American Idol. Do you remember that guy, Poorman?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a really good singer, but he was going to win that contest on the American Idol, and then he came out that he was gay, and for some reason, I guess, I don't know, they didn't like that or something. I don't know. Do you remember that?
I don't specifically, but that's pretty surprising that American Idol could get away with that because there's now you can't insult any nationality whatsoever except for white people and get away with it.
But he's a really good singer. He actually he turned down the Queen tour a few years back just to go solo with his own gig. So Sunday, he'll be performing in Long Beach. You can check that out. And also on my YouTube channel, Henry Surf Showcase, I got some surf events and videos I've been uploading. And actually, by popular demand, that rerun on the Jesse James on your Poorman show. You can hear that on the Rock and Creek Surf Report I have on Henry Surf Showcase.
Henry Surf Showcase. Be there. Thanks, Huntington Hank.
Okay, well, see, I'll be listening to you, Poorman. I see you on Ustream.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking as pretty as ever, huh?
You put your shirt on. What's going on?
I don't know. I'm wearing like an old school Volcom shirt, actually, and my Wave Tools hat because Wave Tools is my sponsor. All right, well, thanks, buddy. I want to welcome everybody to the Poorman Show. It's, yes, a Friday. Woohoo! And, I was looking around at all kinds of different things that I wanted to discuss. I mentioned right at the top of the show, people's personalities. One of the things that is just very difficult that I have what's called an obsessive compulsive personality. That means that you do little things that if you don't do them quite right, you think that something is going to go wrong, or you think you're going to be bad things are going to happen, and it's torturous. Like right before the show, if something little will happen, I may do the worst show ever, or I think I'm doing the worst show ever. But then there's other people that, for whatever reason, they have personalities like Valium. And I mentioned Mr. Announcer, Pat Matthews, the guy who does all the commercials, the jingles, the intro to the show. This guy, he's like naturally on Valium. And I was just joking with the guy. I mean, he's a cancer survivor. For that matter, so is Huntington Henry, our surf reporter. And I admire these guys a lot to go through what they've gone through. But Pat's the kind of guy that no matter what's going on in his life, he will remain calm. Like if any of these things individually happened with me, I would just completely freak out. I would go ballistic. And if you've listened to my show long enough, I've had meltdowns on the radio over the smallest little things. But then I get over it in like 5 seconds. But Pat Matthews is like, yes, poor man. Today I heard that I'm going to have neck surgery. My cancer's returned to my colon. My wife is leaving me because we're not having enough sex, and my son jumped off a building. But I will get that edit for you by the end of today and have the show in on time. And I swear to you, that's the way he is. Even if he's got like these horrible physical doctor issues, the guy is naturally calm. And that's what amazes me. I guess I want to just discuss why people are a certain way, and it's just another thing that that's amazing is, okay, with guys, for instance, some guys can always get laid by women. Some guys can always get chicks, even if they're the ugliest guy. And I many times wonder about that. Why is that possible? I knew this one guy named Mike. He was balding, almost bald, overweight, probably in his like early to mid 30s at that time. And that guy would score chicks every single day. He had nothing going for him. He didn't have any money. I mean, everybody says, oh, you got to have money, you got to have fame. This guy just was good with women. He could always hook up with women. Now, he wasn't particularly picky. He would sometimes have the grossest, most hideous looking women, at least, to societal standards. But on other times he would have really hot babes, but he would always score babes. And then I think of my case where, what's wrong with me? I haven't gotten laid in, again, I bring this up all the time because it's got to end at some point. I haven't been laid in 13 years. So you wonder, how is it that some people could just score with women and some people can't? And then also as far as personalities go. So everybody has different traits. Another thing that I was thinking about, I have a son. Yes, I do have one child. I am a parent. My son got brought up way differently than I got brought up. When my parents, who were on the show the other day, were very tough on me growing up, wanted to mold me into like the perfect human. They're still tough on me. I mean, my dad goes on the air and he's great because he's great with everybody other than his own kids. He has myself and my brother, and he's amazingly tough on me. I'm unfortunately a nonconformist. I always have been. But so with them, with my parents growing up, I was always getting in trouble at school. Not because I was a bad guy, but I'd be sneezing 100 times in class, and my nose would always be running. And then I got sent to a prep school, and I was kicked out of the prep school because I was always late and I was always messy. And to this very day, I'm always late and I'm always messy and I'm disorganized. But I got kicked out for getting too many demerits. And so my parents were incredibly tough on me. Like my dad the other day, he wants me to go into real estate because he thinks doing radio and my entertainment stuff is not working and not making me much income. But he doesn't know the truth that being in radio, I am amazingly rich right now. Like, I'm making so much money. Yeah, right. But no, that's a problem. But we won't go into that. But the point is, with kids, and if you have kids, even if you don't have kids, trust me, if you're not a parent, I will give you, I'm the best parent on the earth, because my parents were, like I said, very tough on me, and I could never do the right thing, and I still can't. But I always felt if I ever have a kid, I'm going to have no rules. I'm going to have no structure. I will never spank a kid because I feel it's cruel to spank children. Like my parents, when I was growing up, my dad took a belt to my butt. My mom once, she would spank me with a hanger. But back in the day, parents did that. Okay, so my kid comes along, and I was married one time for 1 year to a Kcaa bikini girl, who is a great mom, by the way. But it just by accident, she got pregnant, we got married, we were married for 1 year, and we had this kid. And I probably never would have had a kid if it hadn't been by accident she got pregnant, because I just did not want to get an abortion. I felt like I couldn't live with that, and so. But I was terrified to have a kid. But then so my kid was born, and I never had one rule. I'm not BSing you guys on this. I never had one rule with him growing up. He could have been a heroin using, dope smoking, high school dropout, and it would have been cool. He was my kid, and I would not have cared. I honestly wouldn't. Well, I mean, I may have cared, but I would have accepted that. So the point is, if you have kids, and then I'll get to my kid, you can have as many rules as you want. You can discipline your children when they're hatched. They're going to come out with their own personality, and basically, you as a parent, you think you can mold them into being the perfect type of human. Forget it. They're going to be the way they are, and you have really no control over it. So my kid comes out. Here I am, the poor man. I've been thrown off 6 or 7 radio stations. People read my Wikipedia. They freak out. They don't even want to be near me. And for me to get another job, if you read my Wikipedia, it's the worst. And I think it was written by somebody who was on one of my hater blogs. So anyway, I could never do right, but my kid, okay, never one. Like I said, never one rule, nothing. I never spanked him once. I feel it's cruel and unusual punish. I would never spank my kids. So he is now graduated from college. He is in grad school, getting a PhD in biomedical engineering, and he's doing his thesis. He told me the other day on breast cancer, where he's got a new procedure where apparently they don't attack the tumor when a woman has breast cancer, or a guy, but instead they kill all the cells around the tumor to isolate it. This is a brand new procedure, and that's how he's doing his thesis. He automatically studied his butt off in school. He just liked school. So he got straight A's in high school. He went to one of the top colleges in the country, and then he got accepted at one of the top PhD programs in the country. But at the same time, he was a manager of a bar with beer, where he was the beer buyer, and then he also is into EDM. He goes to lots of concerts. So it's not like he's just some sort of nerd. I mean, he's a well-rounded guy, always has been able to meet women, and again, this is on his own. So he's a great student. He's got a great career. He won't be like the poor man where, all of a sudden you're broke and, all this stuff that, unfortunately, I'm different as a creative kind of guy. So I guess this whole analysis is, with human beings, everybody's different. and there's really no control over how you're going to be or why you're going to be or what you're going to be. So I think I'm the best parent on the earth because my kid came out great with no rules. Did you hear that, mommies? Hello, mommies and daddies. Don't have rules. They're going to be hatched, and they may be bad, they may be good, but you're not going to be able to do anything as far as your kids go. So anyway, let me give you my my cell number here in case anybody wants to text me. A lot of people have it. I forget that we might have new listeners. Yes, newsflash, we might have new listeners. Okay, it's 949-870-6155. Again, 949-870-6155. Another thing I wanted to talk about today, well, there was a number of things I thought about. There was a train terrorist situation going down today in France. I don't know if you heard about this, but apparently a guy with a gun, a terrorist, was on the train. I'm not sure if he was ISIS or what he was, but a French actor pulled the alarm, famous French actor, pulled the alarm on the train, and then the guy was subdued by two Marines, two U.S. Marines, and they subdued him, but there were injuries and everything else. But the Marines were actually heroes, and they took care of the situation. So when we come back, one of the things I wanted to talk about is if something horrible happened, let's say a shooting in a theater like what happened in Colorado, would you get involved? Would you actually go into a situation where, let's say, you saw a woman about to be shot? Would you have enough courage to get yourself involved in that, or would you go run and hide and not get involved? So I'm going to talk about that when we get back. As we continue here on the Poor Man Show, a little philosophical talk. Again, 949-870-6155. Or you can call me, 888-909-1050. We love phone calls, 888-909-1050, except for Radio Hindenburg.
If you'd like to talk to the Poor Man, give him a call at 888-909-1050. That's 888-909-1050. More of the Poor Man coming up.
Hi, everybody. I'm the Poor Man, and you are cordially invited to join me for my annual end-of-summer Raging Party Blowout. This year at Scotia Monahan's Irish Pub in Costa Mesa. The action gets started at 8 p.m., featuring two bands, Chase 'em and HB Surround Sound. Plus appearances by restaurant critic Peter Dills, the men's advocate Linda Gross, attorney Michael Brown, and even Mr. Announcer Pat Matthews. Say something, Pat.
Is this mic on?
Legendary surf reporter Huntington Henry. Plus, tons of Heineken beer specials, and even the Heineken girls will be there. Wave Tool surfboards with mega giveaways, and much, much more. Mark it on your calendars. Friday night, August 28th at Scotia Monahan's Irish Pub, 2000 Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, just off 20th Street and the 55 freeway. I will see you there for my end of summer beach party.
Hey everybody, it's Peter Dills with two picks of wines that once you try them, you'll agree with me that wines from Tom Gore and Wild Horse offer some of the best values of any wines today that you'll find at your local supermarket. If you like Pinot Noir, I love the Wild Horse. Cabernet and Chardonnay is your thing? Tom Gore, the farmer's wine, is the way to go. Pick up a bottle of Tom Gore or Wild Horse at your local supermarket today.
Have a question or a comment? Be sure to tweet the Poor Man at PoorMan1. That's the Twitter account. So tweet the Poor Man, and better yet, follow the Poor Man on Twitter at PoorMan1.
All right, we are back here. Today I'm just sort of rambling philosophically to talk about different topics. Right before I came on the air today, somebody said that they think the economy is in the toilet. I guess the stock market has gone down 1,000 points. And I was just wondering if anybody knows how you can really make money. I mean, my own situation, and again, I freak out about it sometimes, but I'm just trying to pay my own bills, and I pretty much live month to month. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I mean, I'm I owe the owner of a radio station money, and so if I'm off the air one day, you'll know why. But wanted to talk about Peter Dills, my buddy, the restaurant critic of the United States. He's hooked me up with a couple bottles of wine. I drank about 2/3 of this Tom Gore Cabernet Sauvignon. If you guys are watching on the Ustream, you can see that. I'm going to finish that off tonight, probably by myself. There's also Wild Horse Pinot Noir. Haven't tapped that yet. Love wine, though. I love it. And you can get these at Vaughn's and Albertsons, by the way. Now, here's one. This is a wine, like, if people like wine. Even if you don't like wine, I don't care, but I like wine. This Buena Vista, it's from the year 1997. And I got this. I have a small Polish liquor store in New York that I discovered. And the guy can barely speak English, and he sells really old bottles of Cabernet Sauvignon from California for really cheap prices. Like this 1997, I think it was $21. I've had it for probably 8 months, something like that. Somebody says you have to have money to make money. I don't agree. Okay, I saw something on TV last night. I wish I saw, I usually stay up really late and I'm just switching around. Apparently somebody is selling potatoes. And they put potatoes in envelopes and send them out. Now, I don't know if there's anything in the potatoes or if they're just giant potatoes. But I think you can make money if you can come up with a great idea. Sell drugs. Yeah. Okay, that's from Matt in San Diego. Matt, by the way, you got to come to my gig next Friday, okay? We're going to do another one of those Poorman YouTube the Adventures with Poorman on YouTube. We did this video when I introduced Berlin in concert, and only 380 people have seen it. I mean, it would rank as a YouTube disaster in terms of response, but yet I burned every bridge with the promoter because they thought I was so inappropriate in this video. What happened? Anyway, so Matt, you got to come next Friday. Let's shoot another video. But people complained I was drunk and everything else, and yes, I was. And I'm going to get drunk at my own gig again. Oh, good. Matt's going to be there. What happened with the Angels tickets? I had 4 Angels tickets 2 days ago. I couldn't give them away. And it was really funny because Linda Gross, the men's advocate who is on my show every week, she told me, well, poor man, you're not putting the announcement on Twitter in the right way. Let me do it for you. So Linda wrote the announcement, and still nobody paid. Okay, I mean, paid. See, I'm confusing things. Still, nobody wanted to get free tickets to the Angels. I had 4 free tickets and parking. So I went for a run. I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the game by myself. So I went with 4 tickets, showed up in the 7th inning, and the Angels won 1-0. So, but nobody wanted to go. Nobody with free tickets. And so that's what happened with the Angels tickets. Somebody else said sell drugs. Yeah, I mean, I have one friend who got away with selling lots of cocaine in the day and didn't ever get caught. You know, I don't know, though. Selling drugs today, does that really make you a lot of money? I mean, I don't do drugs anymore. I used to smoke pot all the time, snorted coke back in the day with Dr. Drew, of course. I've mentioned that only about 1 million times. Anyway, what can make you money now? I think if you come up with a great idea. I know why no one responded on Twitter. Okay, somebody just sent me a text at 949-870-6155. Please tell me why you aren't using it properly. I'm giving free tickets away. What's proper about free? All right, so I did it improperly. Then Linda supposedly did it properly. That's what she told me, and still nobody wanted to go. Oh, somebody goes, Linda Gross is a rude effing loser, loudmouth, and fame whore. Okay, Linda, that is not coming from me. I get that all the time from all of you guys. Like there are blogs where people just rank on me, and most of the time I just don't read it, and then occasionally I get bent out of shape. All right, so back to would you be a hero in a situation like in the movie theater where somebody comes in with guns, like this idiot in Colorado? Would you get involved? Would you, if you saw the guy firing a gun, would you try to stop him? I'm sure Brett from Sacramento would do that because he's a firefighter and he's fearless. Or in this situation in the train that I mentioned before the break, there was a terrorist attack today on a train. A French actor pulled the train alarm and 2 U.S. Marines subdued him. One of the Marines was injured. But if you saw a guy with a gun, would you go and stop him? Wonder if a woman was being raped and you saw that. Would you get involved? In my own case, this is interesting. I would probably be a coward. I'm just being honest with you. But if I was covering a war as a reporter, I would be right in the middle of Fallujah. I would be right in the middle of Iraq. I would be right in the middle of gunfire. And I would not be afraid of the whole ISIS thing if I was a reporter covering the story. But if it was just me trying to be a hero, I don't know if I would come through. Again, maybe I would, but I'm just saying that to kind of cover it up that maybe I'd be a coward too. So that's a question to all of you. If you were involved in a situation where there was some sort of horrible thing going on and you had a chance to stop it, would you stop it? And be honest with yourself. Let me know. Okay, so that's that. We're going to take another break here. There's plenty of other stuff I was going to talk about. You know, we have Hurricane Danny. That's a Category 3 hurricane. It's about to hit the Caribbean. Have any of you ever been in the path of a hurricane? I have. Also, actors getting into politics or actors talking political is the worst. What else have we not talked about? Do you look at your dumps? When you take a dump, do you inspect it before you flush? I do. When we come back, maybe we'll talk about dumps.
If you'd like to talk to the poor man, give him a call at 888-909-1050. That's 888-909-1050. More of the poor man coming up. Leather doesn't have to be expensive. Not when it comes from Lucerne Lapidary and Leather in the Lucerne Valley. Who doesn't like leather? Get leather belts, wallets, gun belts, holsters, rifle scabbards, and original design handmade saddles. But that's not all. There's jewelry, custom design, custom cutting, shaping, engraving, polishing, repair, and more. Even classes in jewelry design. Come see it for yourself in the high desert. Lucerne Lapidary and Leather. 32776 Old Woman Spring Road in the Lucerne Valley. Call 760-885-7777. That's 760-885-7777. Are you starting a business, incorporating, or forming an LLC? Do you have a business but need legal review of contracts or have other legal needs? If so, then please contact attorney Michael Brown. Michael has over 20 years' experience advising small and medium businesses to be successful and avoid costly litigation. Initial consultations are always free. Please contact us at 949-636-8128 or by visiting us at mwb-law.net. Hey everybody, I'm Pat Matthews, Mr. Announcer here on The Poor Man Show, and I'd like to let you know about my services. If you're in the need for voice work, whether it be for commercials, narrations, or even having your personal or business voicemail professionally done, I'm the guy. I promise quick turnaround and great rates. Check out my Facebook page at facebook.com/Pat Matthews Productions, and that's Matthews with 2 T's, or email me at patmatthews@cox.net. I'd love to work with you. Thanks for your time, and you have a great day. Have a question or a comment? Be sure to tweet the Poor Man at poorman1. That's the Twitter account. So tweet the Poor Man, and better yet, follow the Poor Man on Twitter at poorman1.
Okay, so I was talking to Di on the controls and doing a great job about being put in a situation of danger and how you would react. And Di, you were talking about in Newport Beach, I guess about a week or two ago, they had these guys come into one of the theaters with leaf blowers, and everybody was freaking out, thinking they'd be shooting up yet another theater. And you were telling me about what happened, which I didn't know.
Yeah, well, there was a girl there who was trampled all over, and I believe she broke a leg or something, but people were just trampling over her.
Just so they could save themselves, they were trampling over other people.
So there's the hero, and then there's the coward, and then there's the tramplers.
And what do you think you would do? Would you be the trampler, or would you be the hero, or would you be the coward, or how do you think you'd react?
It kind of depends. I would probably protect those around me, my family for sure. I would try to anyway. It depends. If there were small kids, I think I would try to help. But more than anything, I wouldn't trample. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't do that. But here's the thing: you never really know what you will do in that situation.
Right? You don't. And you know what's funny? I one time had a gun held to my head.
Wow.
Luckily, I was stoned at the time, but it was really weird. I was picking up, then I'm going to put on Brett from Sacramento. Brett, by the way, somebody says Brett would be a he would not go in and save somebody. So they think you would be a coward, Brett, one of the texters.
Hey,
but I'll get to that in a minute. So this is a situation when I was in like my mid-20s. I had corked the fine wine with a babe, and somehow I met her sister. And her sister also wanted to hook up with me. So they lived in a horrible part of Southern California, I guess in Duarte, in one of the worst neighborhoods. So I didn't want the one sister who I had already boinked to know that I was secretly picking up the other sister to boink her as well. So anyway, there were some kids that were outside in this horrible neighborhood. And I said, and I was driving my mom's Mercedes at the time in this horrible neighborhood. So I said, yeah, can you guys knock on that door and tell the sister that I'm outside? And so, and I said, yeah, and do you want to ride down the street to their house? Because I was down the street. I didn't want the other sister to know I was there. And so they hop in, and the next thing you know, one of these guys, they were all like teenage dudes, he pulls out a gun, and he says, he pushes it into my side. Then he puts it on the side of my head, and he said, give me your money. And the next thing you know, I there was a moment of indecision. I was stoned at the time. I had just smoked a big fatty. And there was a moment of indecision. Should I try to subdue the guy or give him my wallet? And I gave him my wallet. And then he grabbed the car keys and the Mercedes and took off. This is the weirdest thing. I've never talked about this on the air before, I don't think. But anyway, so that went down, and then the car's just sitting there, and all of a sudden, the girl who I was supposed to pick up, she comes out, the sister comes out that I'd already boinked and goes, what are you doing here? And I go, oh, I was just driving around. I was going to go see you. And so it was really terrifying. Then my dad comes down, and he starts yelling at me, screaming at me when he heard what happened, even though, obviously I was held at gunpoint in my head. And then before that, I had to make a call to somebody, and I ran across a street, and this is really, really bizarre. There was a mom, and there was a baby crib, and it was in the baby crib was some dude, and I don't know what you would call this, encephalitis or whatever. There was some dude with an over-enlarged head that was like a 13-year-old baby in a baby crib with this giant head. And I'll just never forget that. And she called the cops, and then I had to dance around the sister. It was really weird. But I never thought I would die, even though the gun was held to the side of my head. So let's go to Brett from Sacramento. Brett, are you there?
Hey, I'm here. I didn't catch the first part. What, someone said I wouldn't do something? Is that what they said?
Yeah, somebody said you were it starts with a P, but it's like a kitty. They thought you would react like
cool.
that if in a dangerous situation. I don't believe you would.
That's cool. That's cool by me, because in 1993 I got a medal from the governor for my action in the firestorm in Laguna Beach. So I got a medal or a ribbon from the governor. So I'm good with that. I've rushed into lots of. I'm on video even and at the fires and stuff. So I've already proven myself.
So if somebody had a gun and was shooting up a theater, and you saw the guy with a gun, would you go after him?
Yeah, well, that's what I was calling about. It's a calculated move. We call it the sheepdog concept. You're just not a hero, but you're a sheepdog, and it's a calculated move. If you can take action and eliminate the threat, then you could do it. I would do it. I would, it's just because I have training and a background in it. And
what do you think of people that would be scared to get involved? I mean, that would be really afraid for their own lives. I mean, do you call them cowards, or do you understand that somebody says Brett? Somebody just said Brett plays with his little hose.
That's cool. That's only the coward would send an anonymous message like that. I think you're going to have people who react differently, and a lot of it comes down to training. And what we say in the business is, when you react, you default to your lowest level of training. Some people have no training. So if sometimes then the best move is to fall back to live to fight another day. So if you carry a weapon and you can engage them, and the best way to take down a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. If you can engage him, I would. If I can't or I'm not in a position to do it, I'd fall back. But
if you didn't have a weapon and somebody was afraid to get involved, would you look at them in a bad way, or would you not?
No, I wouldn't. You can't fault people for everyone has different experiences and education experience, and they got to do what they know how to do. And the whole thing is never be a show off or a hero. Just engage if you can. If you can't, fall back. You can't.
Okay.
You can't everything. But
all right, Brett.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, dude. Good to hear from you.
All right, take care, buddy. Good show too.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, I said I would talk about dumps. The next segment, I'm going to talk about, and you guys, by the way, anybody can call in if they want. If they don't want to, I never thought I would do a radio show where I didn't care if people called or not, but I've gotten to that point. I just can spew forth. Anyway, the phone number, if you want to call in, 888-909-1050, about anything we've talked about, 888-909-1050. If not, we will talk about, do you look at your dump after you take a jobbie? That's up next.
If you'd like to talk to the poor man, give him a call at 888-909-1050. That's 888-909-1050. More of the poor man coming up.
Too many men are wimps.
Linda Gross loves men. Bet that got your attention. Linda is a men's advocate who has helped many men get their balls back. And she can help you. Her proven coaching techniques will skyrocket your confidence and boost you into action in 4 sessions or less. Stop being stupid with girls, in business, or dump a lifelong problem. Go to themensadvocate.com or email Linda info@themensadvocate.com. Mention the Poor Man Show and get 15 minutes free. Also, pick up Linda's book, Mastering Women, on Amazon. Get the straight talk from the woman who knows.
Hi, everybody. I'm the Poor Man, and you are cordially invited to join me for my annual end-of-summer Raging Party Blowout. This year at Scotia Monahan's Irish Pub in Costa Mesa. The action gets started at 8 p.m., featuring 2 bands, Chase 'em and HB Surround Sound. Plus appearances by restaurant critic Peter Dills, the men's advocate Linda Gross, attorney Michael Brown, and even Mr. Announcer Pat Matthews. Say something, Pat.
Is this mic on?
Legendary surf reporter Huntington Henry. Plus, tons of Heineken beer specials, and even the Heineken girls will be there. Wave tool surfboards with mega giveaways, and much, much more. Mark it on your calendars. Friday night, August 28th at Scotia Monahan's Irish Pub, 2000 Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, just off 20th Street and the 55 freeway. I will see you there for my end of summer beach party.
Have a question or a comment? Be sure to tweet the Poor Man at poorman1. That's the Twitter account. So tweet the Poor Man, and better yet, follow the Poor Man on Twitter at poorman1.
You could tell that today we are really stretching for topics, but no pun intended, but I always have looked at my dumps, all right? Whenever I take a dump, I inspect it after the fact. And I got into a conversation right before we went on the air with Pat Matthews, Mr. Announcer, who, okay, Pat, like I said, he's a cancer survivor, and he goes, poor man, I take a dump only once a week because of all the medication I'm on. This is what our conversation started with at the beginning of the day is people's personalities. I mean, this guy has been through so much physically, and yet he's got a personality that can handle that. He's always even-keeled and mellow. Those are the kind of people that keep jobs, are people like Mr. Announcer. But he goes, poor man, why don't you talk about whether you triple flush? And I said, well, I flush one time. Well, I have to flush 3 times. And I go, well, is your dump that big? And he goes, why, yes, I only dump once a week because of all the medication I'm on. And then I said, well, dude, don't you drink some coffee or exercise? He goes, it's just the way it is. I mean, I'm just thinking about that. Man, once a week, that would be just torture. Like, anyway, I inspect mine. And I'm just curious, does everybody inspect theirs? I always look at it. And let's see what we got here. So that's a question. Is anybody gutsy enough to call in and tell me about their dumps? 888-909-1050. And Brett from Sacramento, listen, if you're the only guy calling the show today, then maybe you can call in about that also. 888-909-1050 is our calling line. So call in about your dumps. Text me on your dumps. Okay, somebody goes, while you inspect the turd, do you pick the peanuts and watermelon seeds out from the dookie? No. Do you? No, I don't want to touch it ever. But there was a time when I talked about how you can make money in 2015. I actually, this is really weird. How do I put this? I started to take pictures of my dumps, and I wanted to do the toilet table book where it would be like I was naming all the different dumps. Like I would do the claw, the this, the that, the next thing. And I had probably shot like 20 different dumps, and I abandoned that project, but that's as close as I got. So anyhow, that's something I was just wondering. Somebody goes, I'm trying to eat here, man. Yeah, you don't want to eat while talking about that. In fact, I should probably move on to the next topic. How many topics do I have left today? Oh, okay. We've got someone who wants to talk about the dump in the economy. I sense that the planes need to be ready and flying overhead to take care of the... Okay. All right. Jerry from Moreno Valley. Hello.
What's going on, Poorman?
What's going on, my man? You were the one who called me the other day when we were talking straight out of Compton, right?
Correct. Yeah, you're right.
By the way, they're predicting another $26 million for that movie. So it's in 2 weeks. It's going to be like near $90 million. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's fantastic for the makers of the movie. That's good for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever else made money off of that.
So what do you want to talk about today, Jerry?
Well, you were talking about earlier that the economy is going downhill. That I guess we lost major points in the stock market or something like that, and that's true. I mean, this economy is going straight downhill. I mean, there's so many things that are predicted to happen in September. It's just weird. It's like we're living in the end times, and it's just crazy. Like everybody has to stay prayed up here. Because if you enter September 23rd, 2015 into your phone, supposedly it says a big comet's going to hit the Earth, and it says the economy's going to go to hell. It says all kinds of weird stuff. There's
really? Why September 23rd of all? I mean, why that date?
I have no idea. That's just what I heard, and then I entered it, and sure enough, it popped up. Oh, yeah, a big comet. And if you really look into it, you start to see the government wanting people to take cover, Some people are actually hiding in caves already, taking cover, going in their bunkers. It's just really weird what's going on. We're living in some times that are just really, really, everybody has to stay prayed up because there's just so many horrible things going on in the world.
Hey, do you want to hold on? I've got to take a break. I'll talk to you after the break, okay?
All right.
Okay, so we got Jerry from Moreno Valley saying that we're doomed as a world. We'll come back. We'll talk about the comet hitting the Earth. I hope it hits the guys in the hater blog that always burn me. Sorry, guys.
If you'd like to talk to the poor man, give him a call at 888-909-1050. That's 888-909-1050. More of the poor man coming up.
Hey everybody, it's Peter Dills with 2 picks of wines that once you try them, you'll agree with me that wines from Tom Gore and Wild Horse offer some of the best values of any wines today that you'll find at your local supermarket. If you like Pinot Noir, I love the Wild Horse. Cabernet and Chardonnay is your thing? Tom Gore, the farmer's wine, is the way to go. Pick up a bottle of Tom Gore or Wild Horse at your local supermarket today.
Hey everybody, I'm Pat Matthews, Mr. Announcer here on The Poor Man Show, and I'd like to let you know about my services. If you're in the need for voice work, whether it be for commercials, narrations, or even having your personal or business voicemail professionally done, I'm the guy. I promise quick turnaround and great rates. Check out my Facebook page at facebook.com/Pat Matthews Productions, and that's Matthews with 2 T's, or email me at patmatthews@cox.net. I'd love to work with you. Thanks for your time, and you have a great day. Tired of spending too much money on an ad and then trying to find your ad in the newspaper, buried among hundreds, even thousands of other ads? Isn't it time you got a great deal when you were trying to sell that car, that dining room set, that refrigerator, or offering your handyman services? Now you can in the Nickel Shopper. For as little as $7.50 per week, your ad can be seen by thousands of eyeballs in the high desert, and they're getting the Nickel Shopper for free. Call today to place your ad in the Nickel Shopper, 760-646-3654, or go to thenickelshopper.com for all the details, 760-646-3654. The Nickel Shopper. Coming soon to the IE. Have a question or a comment? Be sure to tweet the Poor Man at PoorMan1. That's the Twitter account. So tweet the Poor Man, and better yet, follow the Poor Man on Twitter at PoorMan1.
Okay, Jerry from Moreno Valley is holding on, and I'm just looking up on the internet during the break. An apocalypse on September 23rd, 2015. Yeah, it's all over the internet that supposedly the end will be happening. The world will be coming to an end, I guess, 32 days from now. So I'm reading about it, Jerry.
Yeah. See, it's all over the place. I mean, some people don't open their eyes to certain things like that, and some people do. I'm one of the ones that really, I looked into it and I found out. I mean, there's no better reason now to be closer to God than now, because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. Whether you believe it or not, it's happening. Just like you talked about earlier, we went down in our points in the stock market, like 1,000 points. That's one of the things that supposedly is going to happen. Our economy is going to go down. There's all kinds of weird things that are going on in this world. I mean, I pray that everybody stays prayed up, because who knows what's to come. It says in the Bible that these things will happen, and who knows? Nobody knows the day or time when exactly stuff like this is going to happen, when God's going to come back. But who knows exactly? Nobody really knows.
Here's the thing, though. That you remember the Y2K prophecy, that the Mayan apocalypse, that in Y2K the world would come to an end? That didn't happen, though.
That's correct, but I don't remember everybody talking about, like it says in the Bible, like the kings and the people who are really wealthy in the world are going to go take cover in their caves, and that's what's happening. If you look into that, there's big people, big members of our, I guess, our nation going and taking cover in their bunkers already. If you really look into that, they're going and hiding because they're afraid of something that's going to happen. There's all kinds of videos on that. They're not telling. There was a Mickey Mouse cartoon that I was watching, and in that Mickey Mouse cartoon, it talked about, it gave that date, September 23rd, 2015, and it said, the comet's going to come down to Earth. We got to hurry up. Time is running out. It's like, wait a minute, what are they trying to tell our kids? What's going on here?
So even Disney is predicting it.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
All right. Hey, Jerry, thanks a lot, man. I was just noticing here that it says, I just want to comment on this. Thanks for the call, Jerry. I personally, I don't believe in this stuff. I think it's garbage. We're gonna survive September 23rd. I'm probably one of the most, glass half empty guys there is, except when it comes to the doom of the world and everything. Oh, remember the good old days? Things were so much better than they are now. Yeah. I think that's crap as well. I really do. I don't believe that the United States is going down the drain, or the world's gonna be hit by a comet September 23rd, or the economy's horrible. Excuse me. Where did I just hear on television? Do you know how much Michael Jordan is making a year in endorsements? Now, he has not played basketball in 13 years. Okay, so everybody's broke. You know what he's making in endorsements this past year? $100 million. Okay. LeBron James is making $45 million. So, okay, yes, they're pro basketball players. I get it. But people are still making money. And I'm sure, I don't know if anybody listens to this show that's making money, but I'm sure there are. But I'm just not buying this garbage that we're coming to an end. Again, I'm not putting anybody down who feels that way, but I think there are ways that you can make money. I'm just trying to think who else has made a lot of money this year. I mean, look at Trump. Okay, Trevor, do you think the world's coming to an end on September 23rd? No, you're glad. Am I on? Trevor, attention, turn on your microphone because you'll need to turn it on in 3 minutes when Trevor's happy hour begins. Begins. Trevor.
Can you hear me? How about here?
Yes. Hey,
All
Trevor, are you really going to talk about disappearing for 2 days and hanging with the homeless like you do from time to time today?
Yes, and my glass isn't half full. It's almost full.
Very good.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But hey, Trevor, do you think the world's going to come to an end September 23rd? I think it's garbage. I don't believe in all this conspiracy theory stuff.
As long as you and I are still here, it'll never come to an end.
Absolutely. Well, at least you'll toast all the way. Right. Every time. I think it's crap. So what's going to go on your show today? Tell me.
Well, basically, we're going to talk about Anaheim, Disneyland, and inside scoops inside of Disneyland that people don't talk about, and then also
really give me one real quick.
Well, I didn't write the book. We have a guy who wrote a book who worked at Disneyland. He was a custodian, and he knows everything that's gone on inside Disneyland, all the dirty secrets.
I know they have a basketball court inside the Matterhorn. I've seen that myself.
That's a true story, yes.
Yep, I've seen it. And give me another one.
Well, I didn't write the book. I mean, I'm waiting for him to come on and tell the stories. But I'll tell you about my story.
Yeah, be quick.
On my show.
Come on, man.
All right. Okay. I have a phone in front of me that I found. A hooker left it in my room, and it looks like she did coke. She did coke on the screen.
That's great, but did you find that in Disneyland?
No, at the room next to Disneyland.
Oh.
The hooker left it in my room, but she didn't do anything.
So, okay, all right. Well, that's it for me. That sounds like Trevor's going to have a fun show.
Happy birthday, Poorman. 1 day late.
Yeah, hey, thanks a lot. 29. I'm getting pretty old.
29. All right, bye.
Okay, see ya. Stay tuned for Trevor. Bye, everybody.
This is Kcaa Loma Linda, the station that leaves no listener behind. CNBC News is next, a courtesy of BuySellMakeOffer.com, where you can post a video about items you have for sale. Sign up now. It's free.
Shelton, CNBC Radio. Carnage on Wall Street with the Dow Industrials now in a correction. The Dow fell 530 points and all 30 stocks were negative. The index falling more than 1,000 points this month. NASDAQ down 171. The S&P 500 fell 64. The VIX, often called the fear index on Wall Street, logged